Yuki Tsunoda. He's gone into the barriers. He's gone a long way off the track.
He's wrecked the lap of his teammate as well, for good measure.
And he's red flagged the session as well.
What's just going through my mind, Croft, is whether he actually had a transmission problem. I suspect not. Okay, so it's locked up. At that point, the gearbox is locked up. And now he's dropped it there, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So now, basically, the car's going backwards, but the transmission wants to go forward. And you're getting the juddering.
It's like a belly dancing Formula One car as it goes into the barriers. One more corner to go for Valtteri Bottas, and then it is a very long run down to the line.
Yeah, I'm not sure Valtteri troubled the racing line through the final corner there, but he goes fastest nonetheless.
So a 1:31.6. Watch out for Max Verstappen now, quickest through the middle sector. Hamilton goes second fastest. Lance Stroll will get his lap time deleted for exceeding track limits as Verstappen now goes quickest with a 1:31.0, and that 3/4 of a second advantage to Mercedes this morning is now just under 7/10.
Lap 2 is going to be far off, so I don't recommend.
So box.
As well, so.
Yeah, so plenty of time in his pocket for Valtteri Bottas, but a 1-2 for Red Bull.
Should I go this lap?
Yes, you've got to go this lap. There is no other lap.
Okay.
And that is Mick Schumacher against the barriers, and you can see that the Haas stranded and has made quite a hefty contact. Oh, and it's a red flag. So it's a red flag, which means that those that were on a lap have no chance whatsoever to finish that lap. The session stopped and will end right here.
That's it, eh?
That is, I'm afraid, yes.
Oh man, it's not our day, Brad.
Mick Schumacher, for the first time in his Formula One career, gets through to Q2, but his car won't be taking part in Q2 because it's ended up against the barriers, and they won't have a chance to get that back to the pits and repair it in time. George Russell crosses the line, improves, but only 13th fastest for George Russell. Checkered flag is out. George Russell made it to the line in time, so he can go again for another lap if the opportunity arises. Leclerc improves, but it's only 9th fastest for Charles Leclerc. That is very much at risk. Giovinazzi, who's been in Q3 once so far this season, next to cross the line, does so, goes 13th ahead of George Russell. Next, Esteban Ocon, French driver, racing for a French-owned team in the French Grand Prix and celebrating a new 3-year contract as well. Would love to celebrate by going into Q3 here, especially as his teammate Fernando Alonso is currently in the top 10. Where can Esteban Ocon put his car? No, stays 11th. He is out of qualifying.
Gasly loses his time for turn 6 limits. Bottas, meanwhile, while I've been watching that, has gone fastest.
And Max Verstappen has gone quickest through the middle sector, but only 4th fastest overall, as Alonso does get into Q3. It's not 10th this time for him, it is 8th fastest. Daniel Ricciardo out on the track, currently 10th fastest, no threat from behind, and he's backing off Martin to ensure that those tyres he's gone on at the moment are not the tyres he starts the race on. Esteban Ocon, a little bit of a surprise. Giovinazzi ahead of Russell. Mick Schumacher didn't take part. The 5 that are eliminated, maybe the 5 that you would have expected.
Max Verstappen, fastest of anybody through the middle sector, and 2 corners to go. Long, it's always further around here than you think is going to be, and a 15, very slow through the final apex. Get the car as straight as you can, as soon as you can. DRS wide open, down to the line.
Hamilton then has gone fastest through the first sector. Verstappen with a 1:30.3. That's the time to aim for. Sergio Perez, nice and tidy through the first sector, lost ground to his teammate in the middle sector. Perez now crosses the line, goes second behind Max Verstappen. We look out to see who's next coming across the line. Valtteri Bottas goes 3rd for Mercedes. It's Red Bull 1 and 2. Hamilton on pole for the last 2 years here, has now put his car onto the front row. He's split the 2 Red Bulls, but it's Verstappen on provisional pole. Hamilton in 2018, Hamilton in 2019, Verstappen so far in 2021.
He has got a little bit of extra time available to him, Max. We're talking fractions in that very short first sector.
Very good by Sergio Perez, only a few hundredths off his teammate, matching him to the first decimal place, as does Valtteri Bottas in the other Mercedes as well. 22.4 for 3 of the top 4 cars, 22.3 for Lewis Hamilton through the first sector.
Verstappen off the road again at turn 2, it says, but we know he gets away with that.
And a middle sector of a 27.3 for Max Verstappen, the best middle sector we've had so far, and 2/10 up on his teammate Sergio Perez.
And Hamilton fastest of anybody through the first sector.
So what
this is 2 amazing racing drivers head to head.
Perez and Bottas 27.5 for the middle sector, Hamilton 27.5 for the middle sector. So in 2 of the 3 sectors, Verstappen about a 10th up on Hamilton and provisionally on pole ahead of Lewis Hamilton on the front row. But it all comes down to the time when they cross the line. Verstappen on pole for the first race of the season in Bahrain. This is round 7. Verstappen crosses the line, goes into the 1:29s. That is a provisional pole time that could be very hard to beat. Sergio Perez now crosses the line, back onto the front row, but half a second down on his teammate. Next across the line, the man who was on the front row last time out at Paul Ricard, Valtteri Bottas, back on the front row for Mercedes. They found pace with Valtteri Bottas. Hamilton then goes onto the front row. It is Verstappen, Hamilton, Bottas and Perez, the front 2 rows for the French Grand Prix, and for the second time this year, it's Verstappen at the head of the contenders. So Max Verstappen never qualified in the top 3 before today. He has now, Paul Ricard, and he's beaten Lewis Hamilton, who starts alongside him on the front row. Bottas and Perez thought they got a front row spot, had it taken away from them. Sainz, as you say, decent lap to finish 5th.